believe that you can heal yourself? Too often we give our power away to something outside of ourselves, and rarely, if ever, trust and tap into our innate healing power and intuition. Everyone has this capability to heal in ways we never thought possible. It's your sovereign right to claim and have true health and lasting wellness. Now, here is the host of the Dr. Dolores Show, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer.
Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in our wonderful world. I am so excited to be here with you today, and we have a guest, Tom Paladino. And once again, I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, and you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. So Tom Paladino, let me just introduce him a little bit to you, and then I'm going to have him share a little bit about himself as well. So Tom Paladino is a scalar energy researcher based in Florida. And scalar energy is the fundamental life force found everywhere in the world, space, and universe. It originates from the sun and stars. Chi, prana, om, mana, life force, pyramid energy, or zero-point energy are synonymous terms for scalar energy. He theorized that all energy in the universe initiates as scalar energy, and that the sun of our solar system and the stars of the universe are the points of origin, the storehouses, if you want to call it, for scalar energy. He further theorized that scalar energy is instructive energy, as the entire universe is instructed by this divine essence. Subsequently, all spiritual, cognitive, and emotional and physical action in the universe is initiated and maintained by scalar energy instructions. Scalar energy provides order in the universe. So I want to welcome Tom Paladino. And Tom, so excited to have you here because energy healing is right up my alley. And I am just always excited to learn about new things that are on the forefront. So take it away, Tom.
To be here. Thank you for your time today. Thank you. We're going to speak about an exciting new science, scalar energy. I work with scalar energy. It's not electricity. And I'm going to demonstrate a scalar energy instrument. I'm in my laboratory right now. Before we get into that, I want to make this very clear. The point of my research is to help people. And I see scalar energy, this new technology, as being an incredible tool to help people around the world. This tool, this new science, scalar energy, will change the course of human history. And I mean that. And you can quote me by all means. So we're going to get into quantum healing. One of the immediate applications of scalar energy is quantum healing. I'll explain that. And we do all of that by way of instrumentation. These are engineered instruments. And this is not a psychic event. These are scientifically engineered, calibrated instruments. So with that in mind, when I work with a scalar energy instrument, this is set apart from that of electricity. Scalar energy and electromagnetic energy spectrum are two distinct dimensions. Energy in my laboratory at a light bulb close to the instrument, and the light bulb will illuminate under the influence of scalar energy. Okay? This is a scalar energy instrument in operation. Scalar energy is the initial energy of the sun and the stars in the universe. It's the primal energy. Some people call that source. I believe it's a divine energy. Now, when I work with energy, I'm working with a first principle. I'm working with a primal force. Hence, there's nothing that can go wrong if you're working along the lines of science, the laws of science. This is what I follow. And this is what I like so much about my research. Energy never makes a mistake. Nothing can impede this energy. I'm going to demonstrate this as an experiment. I'm going to hold up a wooden board. This is a culinary board. If I place this culinary board by the instrument, some people would say that the wood would block the energy transference. It does not. If I hold this light bulb close to the wooden board, the light bulb will illuminate. So this energy, to demonstrate, will pass through anything. This energy will pass through the earth. Nothing can stop scalar energy. It's consciousness. So this is the life force energy of the universe that doesn't make a mistake. It's primal, and it can be used in various applications. Administer this energy, and in so doing, we can change, or we can, if you will, control nature. Now, I know that's a strong statement, but I abide by that. This instrument allows me to have some type of control, dominion over nature.
Interesting, Tom. So tell the audience more how you were inspired to go in your career path in this direction, because I'm sure they're very curious about how you got to where you're at right now.
Well, you've heard the expression, the path less traveled. Well, this is it. My work is groundbreaking, and with the exception of a few scientists, Tesla, Hieronymus, Kozyrev, and a few others, it's not taught by academia. What was my proving ground? What really gave me this, catapulted me into this career? I read about Nikola Tesla as a youngster, and I knew intuitively that Tesla later in his life was working with scalar energy. That Tesla was able to tap the energy of the sun and the stars. Now, why is that important? Well, we look today at our limited sources of energy, and our resources are now being depleted, or they're dangerous in operation, or they pollute. Scalar energy, the new source of energy, is from the sun and the stars. It's unlimited. There's no pollution. You'll never run out of it. And it can be, if you will, distributed anywhere in the world without a grid system. So you don't even need an infrastructure for this energy.
That's pretty profound.
Yes. In my estimation, this is going to be the energy of the future. Again, free energy, doesn't pollute. Okay, you can distribute it anywhere in the world, or the universe for that matter, without a grid system. The ether, what Tesla called the ether, is the grid system. You don't need telephone wires. You do not need satellites.
Yeah.
This energy will change the way we live.
That's interesting. So how, you've really kind of didn't answer my question, so I'm going to ask it again. What got you into this? I mean, there's got to be a story there. So share that. I think it's important. It's a foundational piece.
Okay.
Don't be shy.
As a way of theory, it was Tesla, because I was a theorist at a young age, and I theorized that Tesla was correct and accurate. In a broader context, I believe I'm a mystic, and I receive messages from Jesus and Mary, and that's the divine assistance that I have.
Cool.
So it's a combination of scientific accomplishment on my part and other scientists, but also God's wisdom, which is crucial, essential.
Well, and it just goes a step further that there was more going on behind the scenes than we know. And I'm going to say that because there is that those pieces that are the inspiration, that if you're wise enough and brave enough to tap into that and listen to it, my gosh, it's, you're being led on where you need to go on your pathway, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So I am inspired by God. I would not have sacrificed my life to bring forward this energy had I not been inspired. This is a long process.
It's a journey, I know.
This is an arduous. Oh, it's a lifelong process. I'm 63 years of age, and I've been at it my entire life. Why? It takes time to educate people.
Yes.
And this is, again, cutting edge, and I don't expect people to understand this. Why would they understand something that's out of the box? So out of the box is this. So I'm fine by that.
This was an interesting thing that kind of came up in my world this last week, is that, so many times things are, this was probably always available, but humanity wasn't ready to see it because our vibration wasn't high enough to see that, to tap into it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep,
So it's just like
exactly.
the timing's here for that now because, like you said, this has always been here. It's just humanity wasn't ready yet, and I think they are now. They're getting ready and even more ready as time progresses. It's almost
Right.
like, it's almost like this. And I crack up when people say this because I'm a big gemstone and crystal person. Oh, there's this new gemstone that came on the forefront. Well, no, it's not new. It's probably been here for a very long time. It's just energetically vibrating at a higher frequency
Yeah.
that humanity wasn't high enough, and now it is, and now we're tapping into it. So I feel that a lot of, what you're talking about is part of that as well. Can we agree on that? Or what are
Yeah.
your,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And here's my agreement, if you will.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it. I'm going to take out of my Tesla coil.
Okay.
This is quartz crystal.
Okay. Oh,
This is
well, maybe.
manufactured quartz crystal. Why do I
Uh-huh.
use quartz crystal? It's a natural amplifier of scalar energy. So when people say that quartz comes alive, it does. When quartz is animated, it
Mm-hmm.
does. My instrument is, if you will, powered up to a certain extent by this quartz crystal. So yes, by using these products of nature, in this case quartz crystal, we can add to the scalar wave. We can, if you will, uh, amplify the scalar wave. So there is a science to quartz crystal. All scalar energy will animate a quartz crystal.
Interesting. Interesting. So, tell us more about some, what people could expect from utilizing this energy.
Okay. So again, if I can demonstrate,
Oh,
working
absolutely.
working with my photograph, I only work with people by way of a photograph. So what am I getting at? This is informational. This is quantum. It's non-physical. So right now, Dr. Dolores and I are having a discussion. You're not in my laboratory. It's your image. We're sharing this by way of a computer. So if we can share our images by way of a computer, then I can work with a photographic image and I could work with people or communicate with people by way of their photograph. This is my photograph. It has energy. It has a signal. There's source energy to this. And my photograph will allow me to access my quantum field. In other words, I can be in two places at once. My photograph in the quantum field is the same as my soul, mind, and body. My soul, mind, and body is found on that photograph, but it's a different type of force field. This is a biological force field, and this force field is purely energy. Now, if I were to place my photograph inside the instrument, I can feel that right now in my chakras.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel that. What do I feel? I feel this white light going into my chakras, that white light downloading into my brain waves. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever I place, whatever photograph I place in this instrument, that will correspond, if you will. That's the bilocated version of a person. People never travel to my laboratory. They send their duplicate or their bilocated version of photograph. This is the new science and where you can be in two places at once. I don't work with people. I work with their photographs.
Interesting. Interesting. And so, some of the, what could a person expect to experience when you work with them like this? I mean, do they feel things happening in their physical body, or tell me more about that?
They do. Let's start with the chakra balance. 1 hour a day, I balance a person's chakras. So this instrument is so strong, people tell me that sometimes they're able to give up a phobia. They're no longer afraid of heights or afraid of swimming. They're not afraid of drowning. Others tell me that the chakra balancing has weaned them off of cigarettes or alcohol.
Wow.
Others say that the chakra balancing has served to lift their depression. Some people say that the chakra balancing has made them more communicative, more social. Others say that the chakra balancing has improved their sleep pattern. Now,
Mm-hmm.
can you imagine whether I work with one person or 40 or 50 people or 10,000 people? By
Uh-huh.
balancing the chakras on a daily basis, we're downloading white light into them. into their quantum field. So this is the information system of the future.
And Tom,
Scalar energy is,
I'm going to ask you to hold your thought because we're going to go on a break very shortly and we're going to continue, because
okay.
I have some questions about group type of stuff as well too for you, because I think it'll be very enlightening. So, you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And I'm so delighted today to have my guest, Tom Paladino, who works with Scalar Energy and has an amazing practice that he's going to share more with us after we come back for our break. So stay tuned and we'll talk to you soon.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network, and you could join the chat, just come on board. And today we have a very special guest, and we're talking about Scalar Energy Healing with Tom Paladino. So before our break, he was talking about how he does his work without people being physically present, just by a photograph. So I'm going to allow him and invite him to come in and tell us more about that. So Tom, continue on where we left off.
Okay, fair enough. So working with this quantum field, essentially we can transcend time and space. So let me give an analogy. The computer has allowed us to conduct work by way of telephonically, by way of our computer. You're getting away from the brick and mortar of society, so to speak. So I don't work with people in a hospital setting. First and foremost, I'm not a medical professional. I work in the new science of energy found on a photograph, whether it's my photograph that has a signature or the signature of anybody in the world. Everything has an energy signature, including a photograph. So I'm going to go back to my photograph. My photograph allows me to access if you will, a dimension outside of electricity and magnetism. And I can do so only with the scalar energy instrument. So I have to work in conjunction with the scalar energy instrument that can access the quantum field on that photograph and send it, if you will, corrective energy to correct my soul, mind, and body. Now, I mean that quite frankly. My soul, mind, and body is found on that photograph. So instead of working chemically, I work energetically, and the interface is the photograph. The photograph is me. I bilocate on this photograph, if you will.
Got it. Sometimes that's a little abstract for people to wrap their minds around. I understand it because I bilocate myself. So I get that you could be in multiple places at the same time. And it's like having multiple timelines as well.
That's
it could
right.
be. Yeah.
That's exactly right. there have been some saints that could bilocate, meaning they
Yeah,
could stay in one place, but they could be simultaneously in another location, another geographic location. Is that possible? It's only possible in this realm of consciousness, in this realm of scalar
true
energy.
that. So, you know, I've read a lot about scalar energy in general, and I know there's a lot of different, it seems like there's different modalities of its deliverance. There's one thing called like the EE systems, energy enhanced systems, which I'm
Yes.
sure you're familiar with, where people sit in a room. And so, with your modality, do people, you shared a little bit about the balancing of the chakras. What feedback have you gotten from people as far as what they've experienced and maybe what some of the healings that have occurred from being involved with your modality?
That's the key. Do people feel better? That's the key. I would
Yeah.
say invariably, once people send me their photograph within the first 2 or 3 days, the majority of people say that they're sleeping deeper sleep. And
Hmm.
actually, sometimes a very profound sleep without interruption. Now, why did that take place? Apparently, we're balancing their brain waves, their chakras, through scalar energy, through quantum energy. Others will tell me that they're happier. They have a sense of their elation. They're almost euphoric. Why? Well, that has to do something with their pineal gland. We're probably restructuring in some way their endorphins, their neurotransmitters. People are happier. Others say that they no longer are depressed, or if they had an emotional block, they can at least realize it was an emotional block and move on for greater clarity in life. So I've said this many times that scalar energy will be the doorway to mental health in the future, not through chemicals, but with quantum correction, energetic correction.
God, wouldn't that be an amazing thing? I mean, I know and I truly believe in that because I've been involved with my own practice of doing scalar energy type of modalities over the last 6 months. And I know that I've witnessed a huge shift in difference in my life. So there is something definitely to that. Tom, you're muted. Oops. Oh, you're muted.
Okay, there it
So
is. All right.
whatever you just said, repeat, please.
Yeah, we had a little glitch there. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
I'm going to say that scalar energy is this perfect information, and in so doing, scalar energy allows us to overcome emotional blocks, spiritual blocks. Why? We're not working at the biochemical level. It's so important to
Mm,
realize we go to the root cause. The root cause is some type of energetic block, some type of spiritual block. I frankly think many cases pharmaceutical products are not advised. Why? You can't use the physical to address the non-physical. This is the key to my
I,
work. I
that's
work,
and
thank
Tom,
you.
it's
I
the
work
key
in
to
the,
mine as well too, because you are 100% spot on with that. I totally agree with you. Go on.
thank you.
I interrupted
I,
you.
not problem. I work in the non-physical realm, the realm of information. I'm not a medical technician. I don't claim to be. This is the new science in which we work with information exclusively. All of my work is non-physical. It's spirit, it's consciousness. Okay. So we have to make that distinction between what we call Western medicine today. So why do I like my work? Because I'm working with light, which is perfect. Light never makes a mistake. And this is
Mm,
a light instrument. I simply have to turn this instrument on. It is self-governing, self-correcting. This chakra balancing will balance our brain waves, whether we realize it or not. It's really a flawless technique. As long as I work with light, I never make a mistake. Light is perfect. Light never makes a mistake.
that's true. That's very true. And the other thing that I've found too, it's like I feel that when more and more people work with light and light energy, it reverses the aging process.
Yes, it
because
does. Yes.
you do not look like your age. I don't look like my age, and I'm right there
Right.
up there with you. So I know that there's something about the regenerative
Yes.
applications that assist you in the
Yes.
anti-aging type of modality as
Yes.
well. Do you want to
Yes.
talk more about that possibly?
Yes.
Yeah.
I am 63 years of age, and I'm convinced that scalar energy has stalled, has curtailed, has slowed down my aging. I am not aging as I would anticipate. Why? This corrective session, this corrective energy has changed my chemical disposition.
Yeah.
I am not, if you will, aging. I don't experience this free radical damage as many people do.
Yeah.
I think that's quite profound. And I am a testimony to this, and people who've been on this program with me for years are telling me that they're not aging quickly either. So
Yeah.
there is credence to this. It does work, and to the extent that we can slow down the aging process.
And I think this is, you know, I just love the fact that, you know, this is available now, and it's timely because being in the healthcare realm, and being Western medicine trained for a long time ago, and being in practice for well over 45 years, is just like I've witnessed quite a bit, and we know what doesn't work, but yet we still perpetuate that.
Right.
So it's excellent to know that there's other possibilities. It's like, yes, we do need everything. It's not a this or that. I think it's the combining of modalities that's the key, because they're very synergistic when they all work together.
Yeah, you're right. So I'm going to explore another technique that I work with this instrument. I'm going to hold up a photograph of vitamin E. Now, keep in mind, all of my work is with photographs because a photograph is a source of light. Now, I'm going to match up, if you will, my photograph to vitamin E. Now, keep in mind, all of my work is light. It's not a chemical.
Mm-hmm.
The light, the energy signature of vitamin E, will now load into me. By placing these two photographs inside the quantum field, the scalar energy instrument, we have a communication of the energy of vitamin E with my force field, the energy field. And these two communicate. So vitamin E will communicate or download its energy into me. Now, per
Mm-hmm.
se, I don't take a multivitamin, doctor. I take photographs of vitamins and I download them into my force field. And in so doing, this is how I have the nutritional balance that I need through light, through energy. Yes, you can take a vitamin by a pill, by some type of nutrient or a protein shake. Yes, food has vitamin E, but I supplement my diet through energy. The
Mm-hmm.
energy of vitamin E is downloaded into my force field by way of this photograph.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. So basically, not only with vitamins, medications too could probably be working the same way. Is that correct? Without
That's
actually taking them.
That's correct. Now, what I've noticed is anytime I work with a photograph of a nutrient, a vitamin, or a mineral, there's
Uh-huh.
never any chemical shock because it's not a chemical. There's never an overdose because it's not you can't have an overdose if it's energy.
Right.
You only can have an overdose with an actual physical constitution. This is non-physical in character.
Right.
So what do we obviate? What do we avoid? We avoid rashes, toxic shock. We avoid the Herxheimer reaction. We avoid any type of dizziness or swelling or joint pain.
Yeah.
You cannot have pain with information. So it's the perfect delivery system, if you will, of a nutrient through energy, through light.
Interesting. So very interesting. Tom, we're going to get ready to go on another break, but when we come back, let's revisit this, because I think the audience would like to learn probably some more about this and how they could possibly work with you as well. So we're going to be going on to our next break. And once again, you're on the Dr. Dolores show with myself, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive energy whisperer on Inspired Choices Network. And I'm just delighted to have Tom Paladino as a guest talking about everything scalar energy. So stay tuned when we come back.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. I'm so excited to have my guest today, Tom Paladino, here on the Dr. Dolores Show with myself, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner and medical intuitive on Inspired Choices Network. And, if you're joining us, please hop into the chat and join the conversation. We love to, answer some of your questions or any comments that you have. We'd really appreciate that. So, Tom, before we went on break, we were talking about vitamins and the energy of nutrients and supplements and how they are, how you're able to use them in the quantum field to assist people. Let's talk more about that.
Okay. All right. Again, all of my work is through energy, non-physical scalar energy. Again, if I'm going to hold up, say, folic acid as a photograph, this has a certain energy pattern, a signature. Just as our DNA, everybody has a unique DNA, everybody has a unique genetic structure. This photograph has a unique scalar energy signature. If I were to place my photograph side by side that photograph, what we have is a download of the energy signature of folic acid into my quantum field. Now, people might say, well, how's that possible? With a photograph, it's not a chemical. This is not brick and mortar. We're exchanging information. It's a communication of scalar energy. This is how this scalar energy realm works. When we think, thinking is a process of scalar energy. So as we realize, a thought is non-physical, and a thought can produce what? An outcome. I have a scalar energy instrument, a consciousness instrument. It's akin to human thought. I can download the thought, the energy of folic acid into me. All non-physical action, but the result is an energetic enhancement of folic acid. So we're beyond the physical realm. We're no longer bound by Newtonian physics. There's no electrons or protons in scalar energy. It's all information. We're leaving behind the brick and mortar of the universe. We're going into the non-physical instructions. That's the key.
No, and it's just, it's very magical too. And I know some people are, I'm sure you've come across people who are just like, they think that, this is like craziness, quackery, whatever. But you know what? I firmly believe that there is definitely something there. And it's people, when they don't know what's going on, that's what they label it, because a lot of, sometimes we don't have the technology to measure things. So people like pretty much say, that it doesn't exist, or they've never actually had the experience themselves. They're basing it on something they read that they never experienced. And I'm sure you've come across that as well too.
Yeah. That's happened to me. So the key is this: as a new science, we have to look, can it be validated? Through this instrument, it can. Now, keep in mind, these are scientifically engineered instruments. The process is repeatable, and I have great test results, and I want to get into that with your audience now, of how these instruments, when we're working with people, let's say a person comes to me and they say, Tom, I'm having a problem. I have a problem with herpes. How do I address that? Energetically, I can take a photograph of the herpes virus and again, match it up to my photograph. Now, what does this mean? In the quantum realm, we're communicating the signal, herpes, into my signal. By placing these two photographs in a quantum field, in a scalar energy force field, we download the signature of the herpes signature into my force field. I can actually find the signature of herpes in me and bring to a state of chaos the signal. So everything is intelligence, everything has a force field. This instrument will find the force field of herpes and eradicate it or bring it to a state of chaos. And hence the herpes virus as a functioning signal or as a coherent system is brought to a state of chaos, not chemically, but energetically.
So when something's brought to a state of chaos, it can't integrate within you. Is that my understanding? Is that correct?
That's correct. And
Okay.
I further theorize when I bring, say, the herpes virus to a state of chaos, that there's no more intelligence to hold it together. So as a result, the herpes virus will fall apart. It will fragment.
Interesting.
If you bring a virus to a state of chaos, it ceases to exist as a viable virus.
Interesting. So, I know I'm going to go down this rabbit hole a little bit. The whole thing with, we lived through a pandemic and the whole thing with the COVID. Have you worked with people who've had problems with the COVID or long COVID or whatever?
Yes, I have. And I'll speak about my family and friends. I have family and friends, at least 100, 200 friends who are under my program. And throughout the pandemic, none of us came down with COVID.
That's awesome.
Nobody went to the hospital during the pandemic. And today, my 100 or 200 friends who remain on the program, remember, I can work with group photographs. My 100 or 200 friends, nobody has long COVID. Nobody has long-standing complications from COVID-19. Nobody.
Interesting. Yeah. Wow. That's a huge testimonial. That's pretty amazing.
Yep.
I mean, I never even thought of the viral type stuff, but thank you for sharing that. That's amazing.
Yeah, and why am I so convinced? Because it's energy. Energy never makes a mistake. If I tell this instrument to bring to a state of chaos the herpes virus, that's what happens. There's no human action with my work. The instrument does the work. If there's no human ingenuity, light never makes a mistake. I'm going to repeat that. Scalar light never makes a mistake.
That's true. That's true. Oh. Wow. So profound. I mean, that's amazing. This is cutting edge type of stuff. And I know that this is going to help a lot of people. So how can the listeners get involved with you and be part of some of your programs? And I know your website is very prolific with a lot of different programs.
Yeah, thank you. The key is participation moving forward. After 50 years of research, it works. These instruments are reality. I can demonstrate and I can duplicate day after day my results. So it's demonstrable, these effects, these results that I'm having. I propose that I want to treat everybody in the world at least once for free. So to that end, my website has 15 days of free sessions. Anybody in the world can sign up for free. All you need to do is visit the website and email your photograph, just your bust shot. The age of the photograph doesn't matter. So my key now is I have to prove this to mankind. How do I prove my work? By way of testimonies. How do I make this simple? The Lord I give away 15 days to anybody in the world.
That's cool. And I think the listeners should really, I encourage them, even if they're skeptics, to try it. What do you got to lose? I mean, it's just like if you don't experience, if you don't try it, you never know. So
Yep.
I encourage people to take Tom up on his 15-day free experience, if you want to call it that, and let that be the beginning of your journey to possibly healing yourself in ways you never thought possible. Really, I mean, so
Thank you. And that's where we're at right now, Doc.
yeah.
Frankly, this is a grassroots movement. Again, this instrument is unique. Nobody's duplicated my results, so I have to introduce this somehow. How do I introduce this? Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for your
You're so
audience.
very welcome. Yes.
And I want people to sign up for the 15-day free sessions. And that way, as a grassroots effort, people will spread the word. People will become convinced. That's what's really telling. So telling.
Absolutely. It's the word of mouth type of referrals. Those are the best. Those are,
Yes.
yeah. And then the thing is, when you have your own experience, that's priceless, because you could speak from your own experience with that. The other thing I wanted to touch on was the whole group type of thing. In my experience with energy healing, when it's a group type of field that you're creating, doesn't it have a tendency to amplify it to a bigger extent?
Yes.
So tell us more about that.
Yeah, you're right. So it's consciousness, and just like prayer or meditation, the greater number of people that pray or concentrate, or this is why some grassroots movements are so successful. The collective consciousness will propel a movement, will, if you will, advance some type of movement. So the key now is getting enough people to send in their photograph, and the collective consciousness or the collective prayers will move forward this program of divine healing. I want to make this very clear. This energy, it's unlimited. It's from God. Only God could produce this unlimited energy, the energy of the sun and the stars. So what I've tapped into really is this divine essence, or some people call it source, some people call it primal energy. The key is this: we're working in a different dimension. This is not electricity.
No. It's not.
No.
But I'll tell you, it would be awesome if it could run our cars and run our houses too. And you know what? I'll bet you that's to come.
It is. Thank you so much. So if I can illuminate a light bulb locally, then eventually I should be able to send this energy and illuminate a city 1,000 miles away.
Yeah.
That is on the horizon. That's one of my objectives in the future.
Now, Tom, I have another question for you. In my experience of doing like energy healing with people one-on-one and being all over the world, have you found with this work that sometimes the further away a person is from their locality, sometimes it's like the more robust the session is? I mean, I've had that experience with, doing energy work with people who are thousands of miles away. They could feel it as if they were in the room with me versus somebody who is in the room with me, which is kind of interesting.
Let me say this. In the past 2 weeks, I've been working with a great number of people in Australia, and I live in Florida. Okay. And many of those people say, Tom, I feel this. Anytime you turn on that instrument, I feel it. Well, they're on the other side of the earth.
I know.
That's the other side of the sphere. So that gives credence to what you're saying. Can I prove that scientifically? No. But according to my friends in Australia, they feel it.
Well, not yet, but I'm going to say we will in the future. At this point, no, because we don't have the technology that's available to do that. Yeah, and I think, that is something that I invite people to be with and experience, because there's so much out there right now. And I feel like we're on such a cusp of changing the way things are done in the world and in my niche in healthcare as well, that I'm just really excited about the possibilities, because I think we could agree that the people are sicker than they've ever been, and we're supposed to have the most amazing healthcare.
Yeah.
So that's, that the paradigm is no longer working. It's crumbling before our eyes, and it's allowing some phoenix to rise from the ashes. And I believe this is part of the process.
Yes, sadly, we have to see the implosion of the Western medical model in many cases in order to
And
advance what I would call integrative medicine. Yeah. Keep in mind, there's more than one tool in the tool shed. Well,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to disparage anybody. I have a high regard for the medical staff, high regard for nurses and physicians and administrators. But we see that there are problems. There are systemic problems. So we have to look at wellness from a different angle, not chemically, but through the
Energy.
non-physical energetic realm.
Yep. I love energy. Energy is like, energy is everywhere. I think so many people forget that even though we have the physicality, we present ourselves as a real dense version of energy.
Yes, you're right.
And, so, you go all the way up to like emotions, your connectedness to your higher self. This is all an energetic wavelength that we can't see, but some of us can feel that, and we have that ability to read that very, very easily, as if it's a second language. So, we're going to be going on to our last break of the segment. And Tom, I'm just so grateful for you and appreciative for you just sharing your knowledge and just really getting the word out there. And I'm just excited. So, once again, you are listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and I'm on Inspired Choices Network. And please join us in the live chat where you could actually speak to Tom if you have questions. And we'll see you when we get back.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And I have the pleasure today of having Tom Paladino, a guest who is an expert in scalar energy healing. And we've been talking about everything scalar and some of the benefits that people could experience from that. And guess what? It's all done by distance. You don't have to be physically present. It works on your quantum field. So Tom, tell us more about, what else you want to share with us in regards
Yeah.
to your experience with this work.
Okay, speaking about distance, I'm going to hold up a photograph. This is a photograph from India. It's an HIV, is known as Om Prakash HIV/AIDS clinic in India.
Mm.
Now, again, I only work with photographs. These are some of the photographs that were submitted to me. These people at one time were HIV positive. Now, I place their photograph inside the instrument, and once again, all I need to do is match up a photograph of a microbe. So if I take the photograph of the HIV virus and I download that energy into these photographs of the people from Delhi, India, I can search for the signal of HIV and bring HIV to a state of chaos energetically. Now, after working with these people in Delhi, India, many of them started to submit their PCR test to me.
Oh, wow.
This is one PCR test. This individual claims that they no longer have a viral load for HIV after being
Wow.
positive for years. No longer
Wow.
any viral load for HIV. Here's another individual from Om Prakash. No viral load. HIV virus is not detected. Now, that cannot be explained by Newtonian physics. Why? This is a new branch of physics in which we work with force fields of people, and we can, if you will, we can locate the force field of a virus on the photograph and then bring that virus to a state of chaos on the photograph. Again, a photograph allows people to be in two places at once. So if we can have a conversation by way of our computers now, the Inspired Choices Network, Dr. Dolores is not in my computer. I'm not in her computer. We share our image, and we can likewise share images with the scalar energy instrument. So our, if you will, our informational discussion today by way of computer is similar to our informational discussion by way of photographs or images of people and microbes.
That's just amazing. I mean, my head is just like, I'm just thinking about all my personal health issues. It's just like, I'm definitely going to reach out to you and talk about that on a further detail. Um, so I know that our audience probably is clicking away, thinking of things as well too. So I encourage people to reach out to Tom, go to his website. It's called, Tom, tell us more about your website once again.
The website is scalarlight.com.
Scalarlight.com.
Anybody in the world can email us their photograph, include your pets, and we'll work with you for 15 days for free. There's no obligation. This is the way I prove this new science to the world. My 15 days of free sessions. Take us up on it. All we need is your photograph by email.
Perfect. Tom, thank you so much for coming on our show today. I mean, that just opened a whole another horizon for me in regards to scalar energy, and I'm really excited to learn more about this. And so once again, thank you, Tom, for being here. I so appreciate you. Do you have any last words that you'd like to share with the audience?
I want to thank you for your effort today. I know this is an esoteric topic. It is why these are custom built instruments. My research is cutting edge, unique. The key is this. We have over 4,000, 5,000 testimonies on our website. Apparently to those people it works. Apparently to the people in India who no longer have a viral load for HIV, there's something pertinent here. Try it out.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you, Tom. So yes, Sarah said, did he say send a picture of our pets too? Yes, he did.
Yes,
So
your
please
entire family.
do that as well. So, once again, thank you for being here. And I just want to talk about, segue into what's happening next week. So thanks, Tom. Appreciate you immensely, more than you know. So next week on the next episode on the Dr. Dolores show, we're going to be talking about self-love mastery. And, it's a self-love is like a transformative journey towards personal empowerment and lasting ability to love yourself. In our world filled with a lot of chaos and constant demands, it's easy to overlook the most important relationship of all, the one you have with yourself. Next week, we're going to talk about knowledge and empathetic approach as we empower and prioritize self-care as a cornerstone of your personal growth and overall well-being, particularly as we enter our holiday seasons, because so many of us have a tendency to put ourselves last on our list or not even on the list at all. So stay tuned next week to learn more about self-love mastery. You are listening to the Dr. Dolores Fazzino Show on Inspired Choices Network. And, we are finishing up here with Tom Paladino, but I just want you to remember this, that, you are important. You are a priority. Make your health and wellness the number one thing on your list, because if you don't do it for yourself, nobody else is going to do it for you. So I invite you to take that challenge and just take a step, even if it's a baby step, into that direction And just remember, you are loved more than you could ever imagine. Have an awesome week. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. Dr. Dolores returns Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, remember to be kind to yourself and create your best life. You are worth it.